For a second. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of your favorite interior design podcast. This episode, I'm so excited because we are having a guest and doing an interview, but we are actually here in my design studio. We are not on Zoom. I'm so tired of being on Zoom with everybody. So Kiya, luckily, is my design assistant, and I wanted to introduce her to everybody. And we thought, what better way to introduce than to, number one, be in person, because Zoom is boring. And we're not boring. One of our hashtags is don't be boring. So if you ever feel like searching that one, go ahead and do that. But we also are, here in person. And so we can just, chat it up and introduce Kiya. So we're going to do this episode where we're going to ask a few questions about me and ask questions about her. And so you can get to know us a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. So thank you for joining us for this episode. If you're only listening, it's okay. But I think that you should hop over to YouTube and check out how cute everything is here in the studio, because we have my gallery wall with all my favorite things. And of course, we have our Starbucks and we're ready to go. So anyways, welcome, Kiya, to the podcast.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm just going to start off and maybe have you just introduce yourself and tell people who you are.
Okay. Well, I am Kiya. I have had a passion for interior design for as long as I can remember. I kind of grew up in the industry with my father owning his own construction company. I helped him design his home when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So I've just always had a passion for it. I love being able to express myself through design, and I just started going to school for design at Scottsdale Community College.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Stephanie, actually. One of my assignments was to interview somebody in my field of interest.
Mm-hmm.
And my teacher suggested that I meet with her, and we hit it off.
Yeah. So Miss A, shout out to Dina. Miss A, she's like, text me and she's like, you need to meet Kiya. She needs to, can I have a student interview you? I'm like, sure, let's do it. So, and actually we met for coffee that day, and that was tons of fun. So we had a great meeting that time, and I fell in love with you, and I came home and I wrote it on my to-do list, hire Kiya. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get so busy that I need to hire Kiya. So anyways, you made a great impression, and I think we had a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And we have similar background because my dad is a general contractor in California. And so kind of just growing up in the industry, you really kind of absorb a lot of that. You understand kind of how houses are built and the process, and that it's not always super fun and awesome, but the design part of it can make it. And then, you're really stylish and, love color. And we both always joke about that we're maximalists, and that we are looking at each other on our Zoom calls, and I've got my gallery wall and you have your gallery wall, and we're like, gallery walls for the win, right? Because it just shows your personality.
Exactly.
But we had those, a lot of those things in common. And again, like being in the industry, you also mentioned that you've had a passion for design since you were young. And I heard somebody the other day they said, oh, I have the classic, redesigned my room 5 times as a kid story, and I think we all kind of do. So it's just in you. But, well, thanks for being here again.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so do you want to ask me a question?
I would love to.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, let's start with, where did you go to school and what was your favorite part of college?
Okay, well, I started out my career actually as a computer science major, and that was back in 2000s. I don't know, whenever there was a dot-com bust. I was in Northern California and everybody was out of work, and I thought, there's no future in computers, so I've got to do something different. And that was obviously wrong, but I also, at that time, computers was just sitting in a cube all day and programming, because it wasn't like it is today where there's all this, people that are good with people can do computers and help the people side of it. There wasn't a lot of that then. Anyways, so I started taking interior design classes and thinking I was going to make the transition. And I just, fell in love with it, and I did. So I started switching all my classes to interior design classes, and I ended up at San Francisco State. And I loved it because it was mainly a commuter campus. And so I would take part in from the East Bay, and we would just go to the studio and do all of the things, and it was so much fun. We had rendering classes, and we learned about construction, and we had to even make like a house out of not toothpicks, but like little sticks. But you had to go to the hobby store and get actual sticks that were the right size of the different studs. So you have 2x6s on the exterior walls and 2x4s on the interior walls, and we had to go and get different dimensions and actually build we had to frame a model of a house. So anyways, those kind of things weren't super awesome traveling on the BART train, but I think we would drive in for that. But it was just tons of fun because it was real life things that were going to make a real life impact. One thing that I did learn in school that one of my teachers taught me, and I've always remembered this, is to have a monkey in every design. So I did my favorite things collection on the website. You can go to, or on Instagram, you can go to one of the links that says "Shop Us Now" or "Shop the Look," and there's a link to my favorite things that you can actually just shop. And one of them's a monkey table, and it's brass, and it has a monkey holding up the top, and it's so funny, and I just think it's hilarious. But now what's going to happen for you is that you're always going to see monkey accessories everywhere. It's so funny because why are there monkey accessories everywhere? That's so wild. Anyways, I don't always put a monkey in, but it always makes me think, do something fun, make people smile when they see it. It doesn't all have to be globes and ball fillers and like ew, right? So do something different. So that's my experience at college. Did I answer the question? Did I even answer the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I know I talked
Where
a lot.
you went to school and your favorite part.
Okay, monkeys. Monkeys in every design. Thanks. I wish I could give a shout out to the professor, but I don't know. Oh. Okay, your turn.
Awesome.
Okay, your turn. That's my question for you. My question for you is, tell me about like a typical day as a design assistant.
I don't know if there is like a typical day.
Good point.
Which I love because there's just so much variety in what I do. One day I'll be driving around getting samples for projects. Another day I'll be picking out furniture for projects. The next day I'll be recording a podcast. And
thank you.
Yeah. So I love it. It never feels repetitive. It's very exciting. Each week I feel like brings something new. New projects are always coming in. So I'm excited to be a part of that and start to see projects from start to finish and help out with those. So yeah, it's really kept me on my toes, excited. I never know what to expect. We have a Zoom call every Tuesday, and just like my tasks for the week are always different. So I don't know. I really love it. I enjoy it.
I know. I'm like up at, it's like, get up for the gym at 4:30 and I'm like, oh, I need kind of research this. Oh, and I'm in a sauna, typing in like, we'll talk about this Tuesday. Don't worry about it yet, and it goes from like helping find stuff for gift baskets, right?
Yeah.
And all the way to, picking out full, furniture packages. And it is fun because we do have a pretty good mix right now of projects. Like we don't do all one kind of project. Like even though we joke about our style, right, and how we design, I like to do different things. So I really like make that part of my, process and want to make sure people know that we do commercial and residential and we do all types of design, right? Like it's someone else's design, not ours. And it makes it fun because right now we're just getting started on a law office, which is going to be a lot different than the residential project we just finished. That one was contemporary, and it was for it's kind of a second home for a snowbird. People live here in Arizona and in out of state part of the time. So yeah, you do.
Yeah, it keeps me on my toes.
Like, oh, should I give this a guy? Like, okay, I'm like, oh, we just on our Tuesday call, like we literally go from like I would say something really important, like preparing a furniture package, and checking all the dimensions and everything, all the way to like I don't know what you returning samples, like mailing back samples. So,
exactly. Yeah, and I always had it in mind before I got into this that the next job or position that I was in, I didn't want to be stuck behind a desk from 8 to 5 every single day. So I feel like I really got what I wanted. I'm all over the place.
So what were you expecting, or what did you think that that the role would be like? Is there anything that you like had envisioned, or?
I didn't really have anything envisioned. I knew it would be kind of sporadic and lots of different.
That's okay.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew that it would be like a lot going on all at once, but I don't know if I expected it to be like this.
Yeah.
I think I thought it would be more maybe behind the computer, like sketching, designing, whatever, which I'm sure I'll get to that point too.
Right.
But I do love like the diversity of it.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. There's never the same day twice. So you're totally right about that. All right, your turn. What do you have for me?
How much of designing a space is personal preference?
How much is personal preference? Well, it kind of hit on that. I think, there is a lot of personal preference in it. And I've noticed that people are shy about their personal preferences, right? Maybe they're intimidated by it, or they're just, I don't want to say insecure, but they're not confident. They're not confident in their design choices. And people know what they like, and or they either know what they like or they know what they don't like. And so getting to the bottom of that is really important. But at the end of the day, it's not, I don't want people to walk into a space and say, oh, Stuart Design Co did this. And there's nothing wrong with that, because there are firms that do that, right? Like you can walk into a place and say, oh, Chip and Joanna Gaines did this, or, McGee did this, or, different designers, and that that's whose style it is. And they do it very well. I like to do a diversity of styles, and it's maybe because I get bored, it's like it's not like a flex to me, but it's just like, I know how to do different styles because I'm drawing out the client's personal stuff. And when I'm working through design, there's so many things that are particular to those people that are the clients, that it is very different, each design. And maybe it's not personal, but it's the functionality of the space. For example, this project we just finished up, it's a snowbird. And so the person's actually not used to living here in Arizona. And we were talking about the laundry room. And I was saying, think about the laundry room in a different way. Think about the laundry room as more of a utility room, because your adhesives are going to be kept in the laundry room. You have to have some of those things that are normally kept in the garage all year round in other places in the laundry room or in a utility room, because your tape is going to melt if you have all your packaging supplies outside. Your paint is going to get jacked up, so you need like your extra interior paint. You need, what other examples I used? Even putty, like, when you're patching walls, I have my putty or spackle or whatever you call it in the laundry room because it dries out in the garage. and he was saying, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that. I would have never thought of those things. But that's also personal, it's regional, and so your design is, you're really drawing out like, what does that person need? And as far as the art side of it, what's really fun is when people have a style and you have maybe a couple where they're two different styles, and bringing them together. Did I say it's really fun? Sometimes it's very challenging, but it's nice because then you can give each person confidence in their design, but also help them bring it together and not fight about it, honestly. So I think a lot of the design is personal style, and we're just here to kind of smooth things out and level it up to pull it together. So a lot. Okay, let's see. That was a lot of talking too.
Very thorough responses.
Yeah. That's going to be edited. Let's see. Okay. What do you think, what skills do you think are most important in our profession?
I would say the skills that would be most important for me to learn would be sketching.
Mm-hmm.
I have recently been taking a class by Shannon Williams, learning how to
Yeah,
sketch.
she's so good.
She's so
Yeah,
cool.
I took her class and she teaches it on paper, but I've been using, the Morpholio Trace app. But yeah, so tell me, she's so cool, isn't it fun?
Yes,
Yeah.
she's really cool, and she just says that sketching is like the most like simple way to present an idea to a client, and you can do it right there on the spot. You don't have to tell the client like 1 second, let me get on my computer and like pull up CAD or whatever and sketch out the idea like that. It's just simple to get the idea from your brain to the paper, which
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be able to do because I always have so many ideas, and I'm like, I try and explain them to people and they look
Yeah.
at me like I'm a silly person.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
like,
like, what do you mean?
I know, I'm like, I wish I could tell you or
I,
like draw it out. So
yeah.
I'm really excited to learn how to sketch. And she also said that sketching and drawing are different.
Mm-hmm.
Sketching is like pen to paper, drawing is on the computer. And I would love to learn both.
Right.
I would love that.
Yeah, aren't those drawings? She does such good drawings, and she has a workshop that she does, and then also a class, and it's so amazing how simple she makes it sound. And
I
then
know.
you're like, just draw a line, just draw a line, and my lines are all curved, like a half moon, and hers are straight across the paper, and there's no rulers involved because she's sketching. She's like, it's easy, it's sketching, it's okay. We're going to erase this, and you're like, oh, okay, it's okay, I guess it's okay, and also no one's going to see those practice sketches, but
True.
aren't they so beautiful though in the end?
They are.
But yeah, it is hard to get the ideas across in words because there's so many parts and details. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's going to be fun. We're going to be sketching it up a ton. I was thinking when you get to the furniture part, like first you sketch a room, and then you sketch furniture, and some of them, I mean, anyways, it's just fun to practice sketching. So I'm glad that you're learning that. That's a lot of fun.
It is, yeah. And one of the things that she said, a piece of advice that she gave everybody was that to be proud of each sketch that you do, even if it's not something that you would present to a client,
Yeah.
still be proud of it because that's
Yeah.
how you grow and that's how you learn is to just
Yeah.
build yourself up.
Yeah, I love that. I know, and she always says to sign your sketches, and so
I love
I
that.
like I can't even imagine how many sketches she just has sitting around. But yeah, it's really a lot of fun. I like doing it. I like recording the ones that I do on the computer because they have the time
Mm-hmm.
lapse replay. But you can see also on those. Sometimes I speed them up when I post them because they don't fit within the timeline of the song that I chose.
That makes sense.
I don't have time to go back and find a new song, but like I erase a lot, because you're just sketching, and then also you figure out the design while you're doing it. You're like, oh, I want this here. No, okay, we're going to do this different. So I don't know. I'm really glad that you're learning that because it's really a great way to present to clients. It's helpful.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. All right, you go.
All right. Let us see. What are some of your favorite projects ever?
Oh my gosh, my favorite project ever. Well, everyone wants to be the favorite project. So all of my clients are my favorite clients ever.
I love it.
But as far as projects are concerned, I love, love, love new construction projects. It's just my jam. And whether it's a residential new construction or it's a TI, building out the construction space and doing more than decorating, I think is really great. Don't get me wrong, decorating is a lot of fun, and it's really great to find furniture and all those finishing touches because that's what everyone sees. But making sure that everything functions in the space and really walking through and saying, how are you going to live here? Is, do you take baths? Do you want a tub that has a surround? Sure, it's romantic and nice to have a a freestanding tub, but are you going to sit in the bath and have a glass of wine? Do you need a tray?
Mm-hmm.
do you need a shower tray or a tub tray, a glass? Our last design, Kiya made sure that even though we were doing architectural finishes and plumbing, she's like, we need this tray in there. This tray has to be in there. We're like, yes, we'll put the tray in there so they make sure they have a tub
And he
tray.
loved it, right?
He
right?
loved it. Yeah. So,
it's very important
it's
part.
very important. So how are you going to live in the space? The new construction. So one of my favorite new construction projects also includes, one of our promises to clients is that there will be wallpaper. And, we have, majority of the time succeed on that promise. But one of my most favorite projects is a project in Utah that has so much wallpaper. And, we post about it a lot because it's very colorful. And when somebody shares your passion for the same design style, it really is fun. And when your design style is kind of, more bold and more colorful, and it feels like a lot of people want something neutral, or they just want to play safe. A lot of people, when they're building or doing their space, they're thinking about resale, and so they want to be neutral in that, and maybe they would put some of the fun into furnishings, and they don't want to invest into the actual space. But when you get a client that's investing in the space and has the same design style that you love, so all the colors, all of the wallpaper, and I'm sure that you've seen that project all over the place. We have a bathroom of every color. It was 5 bathrooms, different wallpaper in every bathroom, and so many fabrics and finishes and beautiful.
Stunning.
Yes. And one other thing about it that was so much fun is that it was really personal to the client, the home was, and they have this star that's like a family crest, is the only really way I can explain it. And this star, means something to the family. And so the owner, before I came on board, she already had a stained glass commissioned of this star. And so what we were able to do is, ends up in the project that there was this air intake right in the front room, and it was going to be this huge grill eyesore. And so we said, well, why don't we make a custom grill here, or intake cover. So what we did is we connected with a metal worker, and we had them use this star pattern and make it into this air intake grill. And so it was, and also no one knows what it is. It's just kind of this 5-pointed star, but it means something to the family. And so we repeat that symbol over through the house, and it's very personal, but then also it's like really architectural. I mean, this stained glass window is glazed into the house. It's not like a feature hanging in front of a window. And then this air intake is this repetitive, pattern that just looks like it's a really cool air intake. So being able to do some fun things like that are personal, again, back to the personal side of the design, but then also unexpected, so that's one of my favorite projects, I would say.
It's a beautiful one for sure. I love that one.
Yeah. Well, we're starting a new project for that same client, so we're going to have a lot more fun again coming up. I know. So that one's in the really early stages. Okay, let's see. We have, I don't know if I highlighted the right ones.
Oh, this one? Did you already?
I don't know. I don't feel like that one's right. So let's see.
Oh, it was my my position.
So what is the most we tried to pre-game this a little bit, but maybe we shouldn't have. We just ask questions on the fly, like, what's the weather? What do you do when it's 115 out in Arizona or something?
Hide inside.
I know. You don't go run samples in the afternoon, that's for sure. You're like,
early morning stuff there.
Yeah, you're like, who's open at 7 a.m.? Those are the only samples we're getting in this weather. But okay, so what do you think is the most rewarding part of being in the design industry or being a design assistant?
I would say the most rewarding part is that I'm doing something that I'm passionate about and that I love. I remember when I first interviewed you, I asked I think the question was like, do you maintain a good work-life balance? And I think your answer was no.
Yeah, it was no. And that's good, because my husband started listening to the podcast, which I don't know why I encouraged him to listen to the podcast. Well, I know why, because now he starts to hear me like complain. So his honey-do list is getting longer, but he's actually doing them. Yeah. So anyways, yes. Okay. So I did say no, and that's true. Go ahead.
But you also mentioned that you don't feel like you're working when you're doing design work, which I thought was so beautiful. And I never thought that I would find a position or a career that could make me feel like that. But these past few months that I've been a design assistant, it's felt like fun. It's like of course it's work. Sometimes it's hard work, but it's fun. I'm passionate about it. I'm excited about it. And working with you, you always like encourage me and you uplift me, which is like very important to me too. And that just like encourages me to do better, and it makes me even more excited working for somebody that's so like grateful and I don't know, it's really nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Yeah, I know it's important to me to have fun, and I do. I've been thinking about that a lot. That how much I work, but as there's always something to do, right? There's always some marketing, or there's always another form to create, or a process to streamline. Like like while you're going through stuff now, I say, okay, I'm explaining it to you. Did I miss anything in my explanation? If you have to explain this, when you get a design assistant, and when you get a design assistant, you'll have rewrite this so that it makes sense to someone brand new, then we'll pass those things down the line. But there's always seems like something to do. But yeah, I don't hate it, and I don't hate any of that stuff. And so I think that's one of also the good things is that I'm really project management oriented, and so I do also appreciate or enjoy like that business side. And when you have your own business, there's always interior design, they say, is 80% business and 20% design. And so the actual design part of it is a smaller part, but there's always something to do. So yeah, it's I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's fun the whole time. So
it is. And your answer didn't scare me away.
That's good.
I'm still here.
Yeah. And they've been loving it. I know. And I like to share with you what, if you don't get to be in a presentation or, say like the client loved it or whatever, like we nailed it. So I really appreciate that. And you've been doing such a good job. So
thank you.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Fun is our core value.
Yes.
And Starbucks and fun.
Monkeys. And gallery walls.
And gallery walls. I know. Oh, the gallery. This one's growing. You saw those other pictures. So I got this amazing gold frame actually at the thrift store, and I couldn't pass it up. And I was like, I don't even know where to put it. And then Kiya walks in and she's like, oh, put it right there. And I'm like, oh my God, that's right. Why didn't I think of that? Because I've been staring at it for, 6 months, like just upset that I have nowhere to put it.
Glad I could help.
Fresh set of eyes.
Right.
That's how that works.
Oh, gosh.
Anyways, well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. What attracts people to your business?
I don't know. What attracts people to our business? Well, I think it's fun. I think we have a lot of fun. And it is really important to, I think, put the people into the design, right? To put the client into the design. And people want to be seen and heard. And so there's a lot of that. We really front load the communication, and we set expectations and ask a lot of questions. And there's a big old questionnaire, and we want to see their Pinterest board and all those things. And I think that people like to also see what we do. So on Instagram, we post like our process as well as those final results. And I think it helps people understand kind of like how things are going to go, and they feel more comfortable maybe having already seen the process on another project, or feeling more comfortable, because not everyone, well, let's just say not everyone. I mean, it's not a service for everybody, right? Not everyone gets to have an interior designer, and not everyone wants to have an interior designer. Also, you have to be vulnerable to have an interior designer, because you're letting them into your home and you're sharing with them how you live, And so it's a really, really close relationship. And I think that the way that we kind of just put ourselves out there and open our books and open our doors and, talking about it and telling people about Stuart Design Co. and what we do, I think it helps them feel more comfortable with that whole process, because it's not, I mean, it's a long relationship to have a designer and, do a project. And so I think, I don't know, they feel comfortable, and I think we make people feel comfortable and they have fun. It's not going to be boring.
Exactly.
It's not, sorry.
Yeah.
what is it not going to be? Boring.
Boring.
So, yeah. Well, let's see. What else do you think we should know about you?
Like, where do I begin?
All the things.
Oh goodness.
Well, we'll see more of you. So we're gonna we'll introduce this podcast, and we'll put your bio up on Instagram, and introduce you. So it's kind of your introduction party, and so we wanted to do a fun podcast. But yeah, so I think that we pretty much covered it. If there's anything else, no. No, okay. Okay, if you could pick out, let's see, one piece of advice for a design student coming into the industry, maybe something that's surprising to you, or that you have learned, or that you think they should learn. Any piece of advice that you have for a new design student?
I would say a piece of advice would be to, oh, goodness.
I
Hold on, let
totally
me
put you on the
think.
spot,
It's okay.
huh?
I'll think of something real
said,
quick.
I said we won't do hard questions. And I'm like, what's your life? What's your life? It can really be wear flats on days that you go run for samples, or it can be don't wear black when you're picking up white rug samples.
For white tile samples.
Oh my gosh, those travertine samples are still in my garage. They're so heavy.
No.
I don't even want to put them in the garbage, because I don't know if it'll be so heavy for the arm thing to pick it up.
Oh no. Like break the arm thing.
break the garbage truck because I put travertine in there. Anyways, okay, what's your advice for a design student?
My advice for a design student would be to, first of all, believe in yourself. I am a person that throughout my life, I like to doubt myself, but I feel like once I started to believe in myself, things started happening.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school for a few months. I met Stephanie, and now I'm here. Yeah. It's an exciting journey, and you never know where it's going to take you. So really just believe in yourself and have fun.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we're here for. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this episode of your favorite interior design podcast, and wanted to introduce Kiya, and you'll see more of her on Instagram. You can read about her bio. And if anybody has any questions, or they have any other questions for us, go ahead and leave them in the comments, or shoot me a message. Thanks.